So today I'll be reviewing Joraku by TMG. Now this is a super cool like feudal Japan card game, trick taking, area control card game. Trick taking in the sense that you are playing cards and pretty much forcing players to play that same colored suit. If not, then it's not like the biggest punishment for not. It's actually a very lenient trick-taking game, but the area control is probably the biggest component. You're like actually controlling areas and being scored based off that. I want to compare it to Ars Alchemia because of the way that when you control an area, the only way to lose it if somebody controls more of that. And I think it's pretty fun. Now this replay value is extremely high in my opinion. I actually spent a really long time waiting to play this. This was collecting dust like crazy for the last year because I was just so thrown off by the theme. It's feudal Japan, but just like as far as a war game goes, I was looking at it and I'm just like, I don't want to play stratego, I don't want to play Risk, PTSD left and right, but I'm glad I finally opened it up and tried it out. I mean, the pieces are really great. Look at those components, cool little daimyo, samurais, and leaders. The cards are really cool. The artwork's actually extremely impressive, hand-drawn. I'm kind of upset at myself for waiting so long to play, and even the board's really neat. Now, there's more to the board I'll show later. And I like these little squares too. But as far as like learning the gameplay, I would rate it a medium. And rulebook difficulty, medium easy. I mean, it depends like how familiar you are with these style mechanics. Of course, I'm more of a video person myself, so this bad boy was only opened after I watched the video. But to be honest, if I were to read it from the front to the back, I might struggle and have to open up a YouTube video anyways. So keep that in mind when you do buy this or before you buy it, to have a good video on hand like this one. As far as best to play with. Now, if you already know my videos, I like to choose the best player that demonstrates a good balance between game length and gameplay. Now, to keep it around 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes, I think 3 players is best, because with the 4th player, like, it's cool, the interaction's there, but and I'm sure it'd be super fun to play with 4 people, but I like to have a shorter game length so people don't tire out, because I know for myself I exhaust really quick. So with 3 players you get the perfect balance of 40 minutes and a lot of fun, trick taking and area control and really ruining people's days. Or in this case, samurai legendary wars, taking over areas and ruining that. In fact, let's check out how to play. Joraku is a game for 3 to 4 players and plays about 40 minutes and is one of those really awesome trick-taking strategy war games, which I'm going to get into right now. Joining me in this experience is obviously no one other than Indie Tabletop's monster himself, but he's going to be gone right now. So we're going to do an unrealistic game here with 2 players, even though it expects 3, and only 3 cards, even though it expects 6. 6 is for at least 4 players, 3 players, and then 5 is for at least 4 players, but I'll explain what all that is momentarily. So how do we start the game? Everyone gets their own hero card. So let's give the green player, or me, because I usually play green, that card, and in Tabletop Monster, he can have this. So here's the heroes that we're playing with today. Now, what do these heroes mean? So you take your little daimyo, I think I'm saying that right, daimyo, and you place them where the character is listed. So for the green, he's in 3, and he's in 6. Now, this is going to be going through waves, okay? So every time you deplete your hand of cards, that's the wave, or they call it a prestige. And every time you prestige, you count the amount of points based off who has the most control of that territory. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So that's really all you do with these characters from this point on. How does one turn look? Awesome. Let me show you. So let's say I go and I play this card right here. Of course I could look. So let's say I'm looking. All right, I'm like, all right, I want to start pretty strong here. I'm going to play a card. Now there's 7 different types of cards. There's 1 through 6 of the heroes, all listed with their number and the name of them. Plus there's a ninja. Now I'll explain what a ninja does momentarily. So what you're supposed to do is check the number and first decide. Do you want to place 0 to 3 samurais in that location, or do you want to move samurais around with your now 6 action points? Well, since I have 0 samurais on the board, I'm going to place up to 3. I'm going to place all of my 3 in the region 6, because that's the number that's listed. Even though his daimyo is there, it's the region that my samurais are now going to invade. So if we're just looking at who has the most value, who has the most control of this area, every daimyo is worth 2 samurais, and I have 3 samurais. So currently, I am now leading this location, which means if we were to prestige right now, keep in mind we still have more cards, I would be getting 7 points and he would be getting 4. So now it's his turn. He has to play a card that's the same color as mine. And let's say he did not have the same color. Then he could play anything he wants. But just as far as like the trick taking goes, he has to play the same card as me, the same color as me, so he does. He has a 5. He also does not have any samurais on the board, so any tabletop monsters is also going to put, you know, once again, 0 to 3 samurais. He's going to do all 3 in the region 5. Now he runs that, he controls this territory. If we were to prestige right now, he'd get 6 points, and since I'm not in here, I would not get the 3 points. It would just be him. So now what do? Well, this card right here tells you who's in first place. Since I have the higher number, I get the RP of 3. So I'll take one of my tokens. Remember, everyone has one little token here. I forgot to do that in the beginning. And you score based off that. So, you know, 1, 2, 3. And then since he's behind me, because I have the 6 and he has the 5, he goes 1, 2. Okay. Now I have the lead, so I'm going to play again. I'm going to play this card right here, the 2. Okay, the red 2. Do I want to move some samurais around? I think I want to place, actually. Or what I could do, so to move a daimyo, they move adjacent, it costs 2 actions. To move a samurai who moves adjacent costs 1 action. I could move a daimyo closer to this area and kind of just start taking out some of his samurais. Let's say I were to do that. It would cost me 2 actions to do this. And that would be my turn. But why would that be necessary? Well, let me just go ahead and change the game up just for a second. Now I'm going to pretend that we just started the game over, or, you know, let's say this game in a parallel universe was playing and I actually had my 5 here. So he did play a 5, and I just played this card down. Now I'm going to revert back to the old game. I just want to show you what else I could do. A daimyo can destroy samurais. So for 2 actions, I'll take out 2 of his samurais. But that's not how the game panned out. Therefore, this is how we are playing from this point on. So now it's his turn. He has a red card, so he's going to play it. Cool, so he has 4. He's not too smart because he's a monster. And instead of playing 0 to 3 samurais, he's actually just going to move his little samurais around. So he's going to move 1 here. He's actually going to use 1 to take out a samurai. He's going to use another one to take out a samurai so he can have complete control of 6, and then he's going to move 1 more. Now, I know I said that he wasn't smart, but wow, was this a good move, because now he has full control of 4, 5, and now control of 6. If we were to prestige right now, he'd get 5 plus 6 is 11 plus 7. Don't do math, that's fine. A lot of points versus my 4. Last round, I'm playing this 3 right here. No, hold on. Last round, I'm playing my blue 6, right? Another really nice high card. I want to place my samurais back on 6 because I want that full control. Now he plays a ninja. Now I mentioned ninja earlier, but why is this important now? Easy. Any other numbered card, not the 6, any other numbered card he can't beat. He could beat the 6s. So if you want to think of stratego for a second, you know how the spies beat the 1s? He could beat the 6. That's the only thing he could do. And what can he do? He can't really move samurais, but he could place anywhere on the board. So this guy's going to go 1, 2, and I don't know, 3, whatever. He could place anywhere. And what is this? Let's say he was already here. He can actually use an action to move in this area. There's no like other outlet into Kyoto, which is fine. It's pretty powerful towards end of game. But since we're just prestiging once, which we are doing now, we just finished the first prestige. Now keep in mind, again, you would actually have more cards in the game, but this is just for demonstration. We'll count scores. And also keep in mind, I didn't really switch this around because I wanted to speed up, but it would be switching every skirmish. So 6, I won that, but he won 4, so he gets it. And then he also won this, so he gets it again. So he would get those extra points, right? So He'd get the points for 4 and points for ninja, but I'm pretty sure you understand how that works. It's pretty easy. So let's go ahead and count points here. It looks like I have the most control of 6. He only has 2, and I have 2, 3, 4. So I get 7 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so forth. He gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in this, he gets the 6 for that. He gets the 5 for this. So that's, you know, a lot of points. I'm just doing that for fun. And I get the full control of here, so I get 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he gets a 3, he gets a 2. And you will be doing this 3 times. So each time you play a card, that's a skirmish. Every time you fulfill, you know, played all the cards in your hand, that's a round or a prestige. You prestige 3 times. Whoever has the most points wins. Again, this can only be played with 3 to 4 players. I think it plays best with 3 if you want to balance game length and game play. Another thing too, I know I played with 3, but you're supposed to be playing with 5 or 6 depending on how many players there are. And of course, every time a card's down and everyone's gone through that round, that's a skirmish. This is rewarded every skirmish. A couple things I didn't do during this demonstration. So as you can tell, it's pretty easy to learn how to play once you kind of like demonstrate it a few times. I know that as far as like teaching people who've never played these style mechanics, it was pretty quick to catch on after a couple rounds. I would say 1 prestige and everyone's got it down. So in my opinion, play the demo prestige, start the game over. I mean, there's extreme amount of strategy in this game and thinking ahead, which I really enjoyed. Like I said, when I first started this out, I wasn't very impressed with the box work, just because I didn't want to play. I mean, the artwork's great, but I didn't want to play like a Risk style game, so don't expect like a super heavy war game. And if you want that, I mean, you're more than welcome to look somewhere else, because this is going to be a perfect balance between the fun tactical war game that isn't too heavy, doesn't exhaust too much time or effort, which is what I really enjoy about the game. I would say if you are looking to play this, it's actually a fantastic game to bring to game night. If you are having about 3 or 4 dudes, ladies, animals over, and they're all willing to play, I think this is a good game to bring. It's definitely like one of those games that you play after some fillers. It's definitely a game, maybe even to like bring in that friendly competition. Honestly, I can see this being loads of fun. Every time I bring it out since I've played it, it's gotten at least 2 or 3 gameplays in within the entire night, which is saying a lot about this game. So if this sounds something interesting to you, please give it a run.